double check OBS. We have started. All right. So Xoth is a sword and sorcery world section of a world, an area. It's based primarily off of the Eastern Mediterranean and North Africa. So rather than being a kind of standard fantasy Western Europe type thing. It's got a lot more, and it's mostly in the Bronze Age. There's a little bit of Iron Age stuff too, but it's mostly Bronze Age, and it's mostly Eastern Mediterranean and North Africa, and so it's this kind of interesting mix of influences and cultures and a lot of stuff that we don't often see in fantasy worlds, which is part of what I think is cool about it. And then, luckily, we've got this kind of interesting, everybody comes from a different section of Xoth to give us a good overview of the world. So we have Sorab, played by George, from Lamu, up here in the far north. Then we have Musa the Rogue from the city of Gazor in Susra, played by Carl. We have Akar the Alchemist from the Land of Pyramids, Yar Aman. And we have Rashad the Archer from the country of Zaj. Zaj is interesting because not only are they the closest to monotheists in this world, because they worship the living flame, as they call it, they also part of their connection to the living flame is the ability to work iron through the heat of the living flame, that they can, unlike a lot of other people who work in bronze, that they can work iron and even kind of low quality steel, because they can, their living flame connection, it's sort of unclear whether it's actually magical or if it's just, sort of higher level technology, or anyway. But that's sort of the interesting thing with sword and sorcery, is that who knows what's actually magic and not. And speaking of, let's talk about all of our characters. So, character sheets. You guys, have you guys all played Pathfinder 2 before? I know George and Carl have, and then Sean, you were in the Eberron game, right?
So was
So was I.
Warrior
Oh, you were
Right.
right, of course. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you guys all know how this works. So let's have everybody do a fort save just to get some dice rolling, start things off.
Alrighty.
Greg, I feel like your volume's kind of low, at least to me. But I could be wrong.
How is it now?
It's still
It's a little low to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's start with, so you guys, Akar, you wake up and it is very dark where you are, and it is a little bit damp on you. You're sort of sitting on the floor. You realize as you shift around, your hands are actually in metal cuffs, and you're realizing, are you in a dungeon somewhere? And who is Akar, the first of our heroes? Why don't you tell us about him?
I don't know much about him. Akar, he is an acolyte. I know that of one of the gods, whose name I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, I looked at the Yar Ammonite.
Yes.
Or is that his ancestry?
Yar
Oh,
Ammonite is what part of Xoth he is
Gotcha.
from.
And he's an acolyte of Xother.
An acolyte of Xother, who is the new god, another sort of not quite full monotheistic, but kind of henotheistic deity in Xoth, a recent development.
Okay.
And then you want to tell us about his class, his special abilities?
Oh yeah. So he's an alchemist, and he has developed, or maybe not developed, but he has been trying to create some explosive devices to help uh, fight the enemies of Zothar. But his original intent for becoming an alchemist was to create gold out of different chemicals, but that never seemed to work. So somehow he came upon creating fire that exploded out of glass instead. So he ran with it and thought this could be useful. So that's what he does. He creates different bombs to uh, fight the enemies of Zothar, potentially.
Excellent. Um, and as you're here, you're sort of straining a little bit, and you kind of patiently sort of reach out your senses, trying to figure out where you are, and you realize there must be other people in here, because you can hear a sort of groaning, and suddenly there's a noise as the groaning turns into a bit of a aha, a character, somebody waking up, and that will be Musa. So Carl, why don't you tell us about Musa? Oh, you're muted.
It would help if I'm not muted.
Yes, that would be
Musa,
good.
Musa is a native of the city of Gazor, or however you pronounce it, and he's a devotee of the Zajite deity, the Living Flame. So he also spent time as a guard at the missionary temple, and he is a rogue, but he is, I guess, a ruffian rogue, which I guess from Pathfinder 1 days that would be thug. So he basically is like a tough, a kind of the guy he would be doing the racketeering, collection, and extortion. So based on when I looked at his character sheet, he uses intimidate. He can beat people up pretty well, but apparently he just got beaten up himself because now he's in a dungeon.
He is in a dungeon somewhere. It's only just a moment after Musa, your kind of groaning shout seems to have woken up another couple of fellas. We have Sorab and Rashad. And who would like to go first out of George and Greg?
Greg, you can go ahead.
All right, so I hope my mic is working. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's better.
All right, I'll just hold it closer to me. So this is Rashad the archer. He's a wait a second. Am I describing him physically or actual character?
Whatever you think is important to tell us about him. As a person, what are his dreams, his goals, or maybe just does he have dark eyes? Does he have long or short hair? I don't know. Whatever you think is important.
All right, I'm gonna say he seems like a typical Zazurite or Zajit, whatever that is. Except you notice that both of his legs are wrapped in like burn bandages. And since it's a one shot, I'll just spoil it. I'm thinking is that basically he was never really a strong devotee of the Living Flame, and so they like to burn people to purify them. So basically, they kind of stuck his feet over the fire, and now he feels much more dedicated to the cause.
Cool.
And then the first boat he could get, he got out of there and just sailing around for a while.
Excellent stuff. And Sorab.
So Sorab, he's a Lemuran, as Arlen said, who are a decadent people, and he's very much a part of that. He's a devout worshiper of Yot Kamoth the spider, who basically holds complete influence, almost tyrannical domination over Lamu. He grew up on the streets, and so learned some thieving skills. Ultimately got caught, got sentenced to the arena, and learned to be a sort of gladiator fighter type. And he recently has been completed his sentence and been set free, and his objective is to become a mercenary. So he's been traveling around, but ultimately he wants to return to Lamu because he sort of has PTSD from all these situations, and he believes that Yat Kamoth continues to appear to him, like he physically sees Yat Kamoth, this giant spider, kind of making him think that he's going to become the king of Lamu eventually. And it doesn't help that he's seeing these visions not too long after he opens the snifter and kind of snorts some Black Lotus. So he's fearless, but that might not be great. But it's because he thinks he's completely protected by Yat Kamoth, because obviously how can you be dead and become king? So it's all
Exactly.
good.
Of course. Excellent stuff. All right. So now
I have
we
a question.
Yes.
Is Yakamoth, if that's a giant spider, is that like, is he a kind of an evil deity, or is he more like a Nazi trickster, or something else?
Pretty evil is my understanding.
Okay. I've never
And
looked at the Xoth.net, so I don't know the background.
it's pretty cool. They put together a really cool book, but one for Pathfinder, one for 5e.
Gotcha.
And there's like just enough description of each of the types of characters and city states and cults to really make you excited to want to play it.
Okay.
And it's free.
And it's
Yeah.
free, which is great. It's cool. There's also paid for adventures, but we're running one of my adventures, not one of the paid for adventures. So I think we'll go in the same order that we went before: Akar, then Musa, then Rashad, and Sorab. And each of you, as you wake up, you're struggling to remember exactly how it is that you got into this position. Why are you in a dungeon somewhere? All you can think in Susra somewhere, Susra being this section of the map that I have moved all of your tokens to. Susra is a sort of land of deserts and rolling hills, and it's very much kind of like if you think about sort of the border between, like, in our world, Mesopotamia and Georgia, as in like the Caucasus, that it's or even like modern day Iran in some ways, I guess, that it's kind of deserty, it's kind of hilly, and there are these fabulous exotic cities that Susra is filled with. And in fact, Akar, it's you who realizes first that you are in the dungeons of the city of Belthar, right here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you think you ended up here in these dungeons?
All right. So, I was tasked by not necessarily the leaders of Belthar, but like maybe like government officials, or I don't know exactly how that. Is there a king of Belthar, or is there
There's
like a ruling class?
There's
Or
definitely a sort of like a magnate, right? And
Mhm.
there's definitely nobility in Belthar.
Okay.
Susra is more of a land of separate individual city-states than it is a kind of singular state. Some of the other places are a little more unified, but Susra is not.
Okay. So I sold my wares or my ability to create bombs for hire to some royalty, but because I'm very, it's a very esoteric art, and I'm very particular about what the ingredients are and what I do, I sold some false copies, hoping that they wouldn't use them anytime soon. But apparently, they tried them out and found out that I tricked them out of their money. And the last I remember is somebody kicked down my door wherever I was staying, hit me in the head, and I woke up here.
Excellent.
That's
Excellent.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Musa, what do you think? How'd you end up in the dungeons of Belthar?
Well, Musa looks like he regularly gets into fights, so undoubtedly he bit off more than he could chew one time maybe in the Caravanserai, they really don't have like taverns, so to speak, right? In this kind of world. So in the Caravanserai, he insulted somebody over him trying to cheat him. And then the person he insulted had more friends than he could handle. He started a big brawl, or hopefully he knocked in a lot of heads, but he just got overwhelmed. The equivalent of the city guard were called, and he was deemed the troublemaker since he's not from around here, and thrown into the dungeon.
Excellent, excellent. And Rashad, how do you end up in the dungeons of Belthar?
After taking a boat to Gazor, he made his way to Beltar, where he saw some injustice. I guess he's lawful good, so he saw some injustice with some, and didn't realize exactly who was perpetrating that injustice. He stepped in and helped those people, but then after being lawful good, he turned himself in for his crime against the city.
Interesting. And Sorab, how do you end up in the dungeons?
So he mostly does not remember because he's incredibly high. But that is his way of preparing to go into battle. So from what he can recollect, Yakumoth appeared to him and whispered in its like spider-like language. It's not any kind of English and something understandable, but he seems to be able to understand it, even though it's like clicks and hisses. And he that Yakumoth told him that he needed to overthrow the ruling elders of Belthar and take control of the city as his first step in conquering all of Susra. So he went straight to one of the ziggurats of one of the cults and walked in to murder the high priest. And he just like pulled his sword out and like marched right in there and started hacking and slashing acolytes and whoever was in his way. That's what he thinks happened.
I wonder if they have an extra pair or two of chains on you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So, everybody's going to get a hero point because that was great. Everybody's got a good reason for being in the dungeons of Belthar. The green bar on your token is the hero points. Set up just like the way Kev does it. Green bar is hero points, blue bar is shield, and red bar is health. So it's maybe so it takes about a couple of hours, maybe even 5 or 6. You can tell that it's a long time between waking up and actually having anything happen externally. Do you think any of you try to communicate with the other prisoners?
Are we all in the same
You're
cell, or
basically all in one cell, all lined up across the back wall. So
and I'm assuming you have no equipment.
And
So,
nothing on you.
So Rashad is the other Zagite, right?
Rashad is a Zagite and also a follower of the Living Flame.
Right. So I look at him and I look at his his bandages. I guess he still has them. Maybe there's burn. Maybe they haven't wrapped him up well, and or whatever. Since we're in a damp dungeon, and I say, "Worshipper," and I kind of bow to him because I've worked in the temple.
I think he's kind of probably meditating. He kind of opens his eyes and he nods, but would he recognize you from the temple? Or
I don't think we're not probably. I mean, I'm from Gazor. You're from the Zaj, so probably not. He's just he's kind of like a temple tough,
Yeah.
He goes collect taxes from the people who are supposed to, who the temple protects. And he's not evil, but he's not good. But very diligent about his work. We must collect those taxes and knock some heads in to get them.
So then he nods and he says,
I do the symbol of the living flame.
Yeah, there. And you kind of see he smiles, but he doesn't really smile, and then he just goes in. Where did you do your service?
The temple in Gazor. High priest. Right. I was the best collector for the sacred flame and the collector of iron for my sector. They sent me here to Belthar, but the Beltharans, they cheat. They will rue the day when they cheat Musa, the Iron Taker.
Is there a common language? Is there a common, basically, where we all understand each other?
There is no common in this setting, so this is part of why you have a set of listed languages on your character sheet down at the bottom right.
Oh, I did not.
I'm speaking Zajite because I feel that's the holy language of the Temple of the Living Flame.
Yeah, so Rashad definitely speaks Zajite. Let's
Okay.
see, Sorab.
I speak
Sorab,
Zajite.
you don't know what's going on because you only speak
No.
Lemuran and Susranite, and then Akar, you probably speak Zajite because you have a billion languages.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So Akar, you can tell what's going on.
I speak to them in. Are we? So I'm sorry, I missed it. Are we able to see each other, or are we in the dark?
Dark, yeah. Are we in the darkness?
It's,
I guess we see dim.
It started off basically completely pitch black. As the hours pass, it's getting a little brighter. You can tell that there's like a sun well or something here in the dungeon to light it up. So you can eventually sort of see each other.
Gotcha. And so we're in a line chained to the wall.
Yeah, you're basically all chained up against the wall.
Gotcha. Okay. I say in Zajite. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I say in Zajite, we're, as far as I know, we're in Belthar, and this is not a great situation. How did you guys get here?
I relay my tale. They sold me some really watered down wine, and I took offense. But I guess the bartender had, or the caravanserai cafe master had many brothers, and though I am strong and I can throw people quite a ways, I cannot throw 5 at a time. I kind of look over at Zorhab, and maybe I like step back because I mean, if he had attacked the temple, that would have been big news, right? So I'm like, that guy's crazy, by the way.
He doesn't know what you're saying, but like
I
the
know.
fact that you step back, he gets that, and he kind of just stares at you with his eyes open.
I say to Sorab in Yaramanite, do you understand?
And he responds in first in the Murin, but he's pretty sure no one's gonna understand that. And then he'll try Sushanite.
Sushanite.
Oh yeah, I speak that language too. I guess that's a local language.
Yes, we need to kill these local dogs.
Need to
Are
get
you
out of
with
here.
me?
I'm
Yes, but I just want to make sure we have a plan. The plan is kill them, right?
If I can get out of here without necessarily having to kill, I would prefer that. And yeah, but if you have to do that and you can get me out of here,
That's fair, as long as you're not in my way.
yeah.
I would say get out of this, and he just goes kind of nuts with the chains, even though there's no way he can get out of them. He's just wild.
I like crazy.
Rashad goes, what is he doing?
I think he's trying to get out.
That might be a good idea.
I did see like a smoky haze around them when they were dragging him from the temple. Maybe he's a Lotus addict.
We must wait our
What,
turn.
do you have Lotus on you?
I wish it'd pass the time better in this dank place.
He starts closing his eyes and he's like whispering in some weird language. I said for sure probably figures he's doing some kind of prayer. And then he stops. He says, "We'll be out momentarily." I've seen to it.
Excellent.
He's definitely nuts.
I do test the chains. I'm pretty strong, so I probably think more highly of my strength than I should.
Yeah. I was going to say, I start to examine the surroundings and the manacles to see if there's any way to, fiddle with something to undo the manacles, or maybe the chains are loosely connected to the wall, or some way to start working our escape. My escape.
Tell you what, why don't you roll athletics and we'll see if you can't open up the chains a little bit. Get something going.
You talking to Akar?
Akar, yes.
Rashad's doing
Oh,
absolutely
geez.
nothing.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna use his mighty strength and his +0. Go. Hey!
Ooh.
Oh,
These are really, really tight manacles.
They're
made them
pretty tight
tighter.
manacles, and so you succeed in kind of bruising your wrists, basically.
Ah.
That's about all you can do against these chains.
I'm gonna try to. Are we like shackled hand and foot?
Hands together and then up to the wall, and feet just together.
Okay.
I guess so. Rob will try to
I'm gonna try to
pull us.
pull.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to pull. Use my weight and leverage and try to push with my legs and pull from
I
the
would
wall.
advise that. My wrists are very sore.
All right.
You are a thin man, fellow Zagite.
Let's see, Musa.
All right. Roll me athletics for the attempted chain breaking.
Nice.
Ooh. So Musa, yeah, you strain against it, and you can feel where the chain on your hands is connected to the wall. You can feel it getting looser and looser and looser, and you're paying so much attention to this that it's a sudden shock when you hear, "Stop that!" And they're a whole cadre of guards who are standing at the entrance to the cell. They've sort of snuck up on all of you. All of you presumably worried about how are you going to get out? What are you going to do here? All of you
Oh,
sort
I'm
of
not worried.
Oh,
We're getting
Sorab
out.
is
Don't worry.
out of it, definitely. So,
Well,
this-
Moose's gonna say, "You're lucky that I'm still chained, guardling."
so the guards open the cell, come in. There's 2 of them on each of you, and what they're going to do is unlock you from the wall, but holding on one on each arm, basically.
Okay.
You also can tell there's about 2 or 3 more guards per person still standing in the hallway. So if you try anything, they're going to rush in with short swords and start fighting.
Oh no, I want them to get me close to some kind of leader type before I let loose. So I'm all good. I'm going right along with whatever they want me to do.
So they bring you, and there's a sort of winding back and forth passage through the dungeon, and it is sort of intense darkness punctuated by these brief moments of light in the sunwells, and then you're brought to doors that are open up into the daylight, and you're standing on a sort of sandy patch out in front of what passes for the sort of local constabulary, the local basically law enforcement. And standing in front of you is perhaps the fattest man you have ever seen. This being a Bronze Age world, it's rare for somebody to be eaten well so regularly that they can get really fat. And this man, and he has this huge black beard that is oiled and crinkled, and clearly he lives pretty well. And he turns to the captain of the guard, who is standing next to him. You can tell because he's in kind of heavier armor, and he's got a long sword instead of a short sword by his side. Says, "These all that you have?" The captain sort of says, "Guards, toss them over there." And the guards take you and basically toss you down onto the ground in a sort of a heap, and then draw their short swords to hold you in place.
So Rob would say, Yakamath will feast on your souls in hell.
Is he saying that in Susranite or in Lemur?
Yeah.
Ooh,
In Susra, right?
excellent. One of the guards kind of trembles for a second and then steels himself and holds his sword right directly at you. And he's got it, it's about an inch away from your face at this point.
He puts the point right against his head.
Yeah.
He goes like this. So it's drawing a little blood.
I'm not with him. Just saying.
He might not be around very long, so
Please, sir.
I figured it's only 2-hour session. Let's see how long I can make it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want. I mean, I like this character. I don't want to die.
at this point, the captain of the guards, he sort of throws up a hand signal, and the guards all step back away. They're giving you enough space to basically stand up. They still have their swords out, so if you try anything, they're going to be ready. But they're giving you enough space to sort of stand up and stretch your legs and get sort of acclimatized.
But we have chains that can be swung and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean,
Do we still have chains on?
You have just the chains
on the hands,
on the
right?
hands. Yeah.
Okay.
Like manacled together.
Basically Bronze Age handcuffs.
And are we like manacled, like literally together, like a chain gang kind of situation, or are we separate?
No, separate.
Okay, that's good for you guys. I don't want to take you down with me.
Rashad's just praying, but Musa probably doesn't recognize the prayer.
Musa does not recognize a prayer.
No, it doesn't sound like a prayer to the living flame.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
Akar stretches, kind of subtly looking to see if there's anything on his person. Assuming there isn't, but just checking. Do I have any bombs in my pocket that they didn't notice?
You're basically down to about as much clothing as your character picture has, just sort of like a loincloth and maybe a little bit of a skirt. You're not in any position to hide anything.
Depends on the size of the loincloth.
Well,
Yeah.
that depends. Yes, depends on the size of the loincloth. But no, you don't have any hidden bombs or anything like that.
Yeah, but maybe you can quick alchemy some sand and some body hair, and
Yeah, totally. That,
All right.
now I'm trying to get a measure of these guards because one of them's going to take a beating.
So
Is this fat man still here?
Yeah,
I'm
this
flexing.
colossally fat man. He kind of shuffles
I'm
over
flexing.
close enough and says, "Ah, all of you will be janissaries in my caravan guards, or you will die here."
Very well.
sounds fair.
Killed by these? Unlikely.
And it says, "Unlikely. You believe that you could take these guardsmen, the finest in all of Beltar."
I'm looking for work, so I'm willing to take it on this assignment. Let's go.
Very well, very well. Once we're out of sight of the city, you can have weapons and armor again. Be forewarned that you will be horribly outnumbered by my mercenaries should you try anything, and there are very few oases in the desert that we pass through.
So Rob's just taking it in.
And then you also, actually, let's have everybody roll me society, so that let's see if you know a thing or two about slave soldiers in Susra.
Here we go. No. Somebody smarter?
Nope.
Oh,
Okay, so what basically all of you know is that slave soldiers are sort of a thing. What Akar knows specifically is that one of the ways that Susra maintains this is by being extremely destructive when things like slave revolts happen. That Susranites don't think twice about, for instance, taking an entire farming estate of slaves and putting them to death on the death of the master, just to make sure that nobody tries anything.
Jeez.
So you can be pretty sure that this fat bastard, he's pretty sure that he's going to be just fine.
Okay, you think that, but he thinks in his mind.
Is
Hopefully
this
he
so
doesn't say that.
roads lined with like crucifixes type of
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, like, classic Roman style roads lined with crucifixes, or just, piles and piles of just horrific violence in the name of maintaining this slave state. Um, so
Our
if you
penance
want,
will be grand.
Hmm?
Our penance will be grand.
penance, Zagite. You worship the flame?
Uh,
And he speaks to you in Zagite in particular.
the only
I pay particular attention to the answer.
Yeah.
the only flame worth looking at.
Very clever. Very clever. At dawn, we leave. You can stay with my men in the barracks. No weapons until we leave sight of the city, though. We wouldn't want troublemakers running around with bronze or iron in their hands. And so you guys are led by the guards off to the barracks, and kind of, it's at this point pretty late in the day. There are a whole bunch of mercenaries. There are like 40 or so mercenaries that are already assigned to guard this caravan. It's a pretty big caravan. It's, wagons on wagons on wagons. It's a pretty serious deal. You can tell that this is a really wealthy merchant. If you couldn't tell from him being extraordinarily fat earlier, this is clear evidence of that. Next morning, y'all wake up.
Could I backtrack real quick
Of course.
before we get sent away? I want to say to the fat man, the merchant,
Yes.
I can be especially useful to you if you can have one of your guards get my herbs. I'm an alchemist, and I can provide soothing ointments as well as other useful items for you on the journey. But I would request that you get those from wherever I'm staying, if I live here or whatever. So I tell him, please send a man to my house and gather these things, because it'll be very helpful for you if you do that.
Yeah, and I'm picturing this is near the end of his conversation with
Yeah.
you guys, and he's sort of waved his hands. Fine, I'll send a man. And so it's late that evening when one of the mercenaries comes and he deposits your alchemical ingredients in front of you, so that you can prepare whatever you like for the first morning.
Excellent.
Cool.
So, here we are leaving Belthar the first morning. As promised, no weapons for you guys, although they do give you whatever armor is on your character sheet to wear. And then once you're out of sight of the city, I'm assuming one of you will sort of make a motion to say, hey, can you give us weapons in case the bandits come?
Well,
And do we happen to overhear the name of this merchant at any point?
You did not.
Okay, so I don't ask because that's too suspicious. But if I'm going to pay attention in case other guards happen to call him by name or whatever. If I can try to find out what it is, great. If I can't, no problem.
I don't ask for weapons because I don't particularly care, because my hands are pretty lethal themselves. So
I definitely want my weapons.
They're gonna start handing them out. Musa, do you refuse, or are you?
Oh no, I take it.
Okay. Yeah. So you're just not the one who asks. Okay.
No.
Of course.
Yeah.
So now, in weapons,
because I guess in this game, like, you can like attack with your main and punch, right? 2 attacks, right? So,
yeah. You can do all sorts of stuff. So the road from Beltar to Gazor is gonna take a while. It with this big of a caravan, it's really probably like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks of travel, because the ox carts move pretty slowly. Um, and I'm picturing that it is pretty quickly that you guys are with a couple of mercenary buddies sent out on sort of scouting expeditions under the expectation that you guys know that there's no water in the desert anywhere else. You basically have to come back. First with, maybe 5 or 6 other mercenaries with you and split up, but gradually down into a smaller and smaller until it's just your core group being sent out on these scouting expeditions.
Okay.
I'm going to have everybody roll 1d3 for me.
So are they becoming more comfortable with us, Arlen? Like, do they seem to trust us more as we're going along, or they're just deciding that we're more expendable and that's why they're sending us out together?
They're basically sending you guys out because you're expendable. The expectation is that if the bandits aren't likely to hit a caravan of this size, so the scouts are the vulnerable group.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
Are we the only
Make a note of
slave
that.
We're the diversion.
yeah, you guys are there to soak up the hits while the rest of everybody gets out, because you're slave soldiers, and that's what's up.
Are we the only slave soldiers in this caravan?
It's unclear. So slave soldiers have a kind of interesting position within Susra in that they there's definitely potentially room to be technically a slave, but be in a remarkable social position, right? It's sort of like within actual historical Roman stuff that there are slaves who are better off than freemen, and in particular, talented warriors could be treated almost like the Susranite equivalent of knights or something like that, despite not actually being nobility and technically still being property.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the mercenaries are probably also slaves, but it is hard to tell. There's no easy way to say, like, okay, this guy is a slave and this guy isn't.
And about how far do they send us out ranging to scout? Approximately from them.
Rarely do they send you more than a couple of miles, but each time they kind of send you a little bit further and a little bit further, and it's maybe 2/3 of the way through the trip that you guys are at this the scout trail. And give me a second, I need to set up some tokens.
Whatever for.
I know, who knows? Anybody who can guess gets a hero point.
Let's
I'm
see.
just kidding. You already have 2 hero points.
We all require
Damn it.
let's see.
Nice map.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's just one that I found on Google, so it's
Nice art style.
I was looking at the player's guide at my god Zother, and it looks like he could potentially be a monotheistic religion as well.
yeah. So Zother is heavily based on the Egyptian god Aten,
Mm-hmm.
and Aten
Mhm.
was an attempt by a pharaoh who took the name Akhenaten in order to introduce a monotheistic deity to ancient Egypt.
Right.
So Zother kind of follows that same.
And that only lasted one generation, so be careful.
That only lasted one generation. Zother has been around for 2 generations, so he's a little bit better
Wow.
off so far.
Nice. So far, so good.
Yeah. And
he was the first one, so he's been around since forever.
That's
So,
a good point.
And Sigmund Freud believed that Moses of biblical fame was actually a follower of Aten who fled Egypt during the chaos after Aten's fall.
That's interesting.
Which is
That kind of
interesting.
works with the timing too.
Yeah, it's about the right. He's got a book, Moses and Monotheism, that is specifically about this theory about Moses. Anyway,
That's interesting.
we don't have to talk about Aten anymore. We can have everybody roll perception checks.
All right. Wow, 3 13s.
3 13s. So Akar, Sorab, and Musa, you guys don't notice anything, but Rashad is a little more clear-eyed, and he sort of points up ahead towards this rock formation and says, "There's something
Rock.
unnatural about that." What do you guys want to do?
Arlen, keep pinging it again. I was zoomed in too far, just so I could see.
Oh, yes,
Did you
I'll.
ping it? Oh, there
I
it
got
is.
it. Thank you.
No, this one right over here.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
where Rashad kind of can see around the corner and see this rock formation and say, "Oh, there's something odd about that."
Let's see.
Okay.
Akar is not the type who wants to walk into a battle or a fight. He's more of an intellectual who wants to avoid that. So he'll take out his dagger, but he'll also attempt to hide behind some rocks. If we're thinking there's a fight coming on. Is that
Okay.
what
Yeah.
Rashad is saying? Or is he just like, hey, there's something behind there, but without it?
Well, it's up to you to interpret what something behind there. Rashad isn't clear about what is behind there. He's just thinking there's something a little bit off. He's got a sort of sixth sense at the back of his neck, the hair sticking up and all that.
I'll
So,
say,
sir,
sorry. I'll say
Go ahead.
Akar is in general kind of a save his own skin type of person, as some intellectuals might be. So he will go and hide behind those rocks to start off. And
Lisa,
he'll look around the
How,
corner.
how climbable are these? Is this?
It is certainly not impossible. It's going to be a little tricky. How much gear are you carrying, Musa? I don't remember for you in particular. Let's see. Yeah, you're in kind of medium armor and stuff, so it's going to be a little bit trickier for that, but it's definitely doable.
Okay. He'll try.
Yeah. Why don't you roll me athletics?
Okay.
Not quite. You kind of get a handhold or two up, and then you realize there's nothing here to grab onto next. There's nothing to grab on, and your sort of hands are slipping a little bit, and you decide it's best to just pause back down. So you tried, I'm going to picture right about here.
Yep.
On one of the other areas, you might be able to try again, but on that area, it's not really gonna do it for you.
Okay.
well, Sorab is going to heft his battle axe, and he's going to just start moving in the direction of whatever it is.
All right. Why don't you do? Tell you what. Let us. So it seems like Rashad and Akar are both. Rashad, are you picture yourself using perception more or stealth? Are you trying to get the
No, because I saw something. I'm going to say perception.
perception? All right. Everybody, click on your token and roll initiative.
I guess.
Oh,
that's
and
right.
you have to wait just a second so that I can open up. Yep. Okay. Now you can click on your token and roll initiative.
Are we all using perception, or can we use?
If you have something else that you think you can use.
Well, I mean, Musa's like, even though he's big, he's still sneaky.
Yeah, so yeah, stealth I think is totally fine if you're
So I was trying
marching
to,
up.
you know.
Sorab isn't going to be using stealth because he's just basically marching up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Got some good rolls, you guys.
I rolled a d20.
Oh,
I rolled a natural 20. That matters.
Awesome. I do, Arlen, have now my copy of this insane deck of cards that Kevin's been using.
Mm.
It's deadly.
Yeah.
Kevin's been using them against us. It's cool. I like it. It's
Yeah, I
interesting.
love those. I love those.
All right.
Now I'm just waiting for the
And-
critical fumble one to come out in a couple of weeks.
Sorab, it is your turn. 3 actions. What do you want to do?
Okay. So, I'm just gonna start. I can't reach them. I don't think in 3 actions. Reach the area in 3 actions. So I'm just gonna start just moving, 1 action at a time. See how close I get, because don't have a good missile weapon. So my speed is only 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20. That's 1 move. 5, 10, 15, 20. Just if anything happens, let me know.
Remember that you could take the seek option.
That's what I'm going to do. When I get here, I'm going to seek.
All right.
So,
And then,
Ready.
as if standing up out of the rocks and desert stands. Da-don.
whoa.
Whoa.
I
The
think I found them.
banditry. Musa, 3 actions. What do you want to do?
Quick question.
Wow.
Did they stand up and we see them, or is that just Sorab because he did the seeking action?
Everybody sees them. They're gonna start.
Okay.
They're basically starting to shout and let out kind of howling war cries and all that. So they're trying to be intimidating, because the best thing for them is if you guys all run away, die in the desert, and they can just take your stuff later. This bandit, to be clear, is not a real bandit. He's a turn order bandit.
Okay. And what do they basically look like? How are they armored and armed?
They have fairly large wicker shields and spears for the most part. There are some of them who have javelins. Some of them, there are a couple who have short bows, but for the most part, they're fairly lightly armored. Most people in Xoth are fairly lightly armored. You guys are remarkably heavily armored for Xoth, realistically.
Cool. Okay, awesome.
Where's movement on here?
It's on the left on the main tab.
Yeah, it's
The
on
speed.
Under
the
your class
character.
Oh, 25. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So you can move that each phase?
That's
Each
a stride.
action.
Yes, 1 stride is your full movement.
Okay, and are these rocks like difficult terrain?
The rocks are difficult terrain. The cliff side, you're gonna have to climb it if you want up.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna move to here and then try to find another place to climb up.
Yeah. All right. So that's 1 action to move.
Yep.
Another action for an athletics check. Why don't you roll me athletics?
Okay.
Oh, easily. You're
Wow.
like Sorab, if he was looking, would say that you're like his spider god the way you climb up.
All right.
Nice.
So how okay, so is that an action or do I move with that athletics?
That athletics check will just get you up to the top of the cliffs like that.
Okay. And then I'm going to I hate this diagonal movement thing they do. So the first one is normal and the second one counts 2, right?
That's
Yes.
right.
And then the third one is normal.
Third one is normal again.
Correct.
Okay, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20. And okay. So I'm probably going to crouch down and try to hide here, I think. Okay,
All right.
that's it.
It is the bandit's turn. So we're gonna have. Let me see. How fast do they move? Oh, they don't move very fast at all. You guys are gonna be just fine. 1.
Don't believe him.
All right. 1 on
See,
you
look at
with
that.
1 action, Sorab, and he is going to roll. Attack with the spear.
They can't all hit you, Sorab.
I'm very sorry. I'm doing
We'll
Kevin's
see.
thing where yeah. That's a critical.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
only worth 6
Congratulations.
damage.
how much?
Only worth 6 damage.
Okay, that's survivable so far.
Yeah. So.
I do not have my shield up yet, but on my next turn I will.
That is a nat 1. So Sorab, why don't you take a free strike at that bandit infantry who just ran up at you?
Okay, here we go. Battle axe. Ah!
Oh,
31.
Damn. 31.
Yeah,
nice. Oh, and that's a crit.
sweet. I don't understand how it calculates the crit damage on these things because shouldn't it just be double what the regular damage
It
was?
rolls it again and then doubles it.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yep.
Anyway.
For whatever reason. It's just because it doesn't like you.
I'm sure that's what it is.
In the
Understandable.
Eberron, I rolled a crit, and the crit was less damage
I saw.
initial strike.
I was watching that. I saw that. I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" That's when I first noticed it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Didn't Kevin let you use the?
Yeah, he let me make it a reasonable crit as opposed to less than a regular attack.
That doesn't make sense. There's got to be something wrong in that.
Well, it just like Arlen said, it re-rolls it, and it should just do
Just
times.
roll another one, right? It's just roll another one, right?
Yeah, what it
Oh,
should
okay.
do is basically just roll another one on top of the one it's already rolled. But what
Yeah.
it does is it re-rolls. So that's why, because it's bad, what happened for George right there is that he rolled a 1 plus 4,
Yeah.
and then that got doubled, so that 5 turned into a 10. But can you see the health bars on these guys? Specifically
Yes.
this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's good to know.
Cool.
I lost Arlen. I lost your camera. I'm gonna reconnect.
I think I just lost everybody, so I'll reconnect too.
Yeah.
Solar flare activity is high.
All right. And then we've got one bandit who's going to throw a spear at Musa.
AC 20.
Oh, that's a big miss. That's a miss as well. And that is all of the bandits. Rashad, what would you like to do?
Is there a penalty if you use a bow against somebody that's not a certain amount of feet away?
What type of bow do you have?
I have a longbow.
So yes, there is a penalty for that, unless you have the point blank feat. It's just a -2 though, so it's not too bad.
You could step back too.
Yeah, you could do a stride back and then shoot if you would like. That's 3 actions.
What's the minimum distance, Arlen? Do you happen to know?
The volley distance on the longbow is, I believe, 30 feet.
Yeah, 30 feet.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then I have how far can I move? All right. Where's the movement thing?
It's on the left in the first tab of the character sheet. It says speed.
One minute.
So like it's right under
Class DC, right?
DC. Exactly.
Oh, there it is, 30 feet. So then I can do hunt prey, and then I can do the one thing I can shoot twice because it uses one action to shoot twice.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that
so
a feat?
then-
Yeah, that's a special class
Hunted
feature for the
fowl.
ranger.
Yes.
Wow, you're totally surrounded. Maybe I should be shooting one of them instead.
A little bit, but he doesn't seem worried. So
So he will drop back to 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that should be enough. Actually, I can do one less than that. Right there. I will mark that guy with hunt, prey, love, and then I use hunted shot and if I hit him, my first shot gets an additional D8 damage for precision shot.
Yep. I think it's your first hit, not your first, not just if you hit the first shot. So if you miss the first shot and you hit the second one, you get the precision bonus also.
Yeah, first hit. All right, and then let's see.
That's pretty good.
Bandit infantry. That is just enough to do some damage.
So it's
-7.
and then I got to roll a D8, then I guess. So 4, 8, 11 total for the first shot. And then the second, well, is this going to automatically include the minus?
It doesn't automatically include the -5, so we just have to calculate it out. But that's a crit.
Though.
So, how do you kill this first bandit?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's like 2. He's like looking at me and he's growling, and I just do one arrow in each eye, drop him.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. So that's Rashad. Akar.
Okay, so question.
Yes.
Am I currently stealth? Because that was my, I was hiding behind and I rolled my stealth initiative, but I didn't roll a stealth roll.
Yes.
So am I stealth hidden from these guys currently?
Yeah, you're hidden from these guys. If you don't want to do anything, you could just hide.
No, I'm gonna do something, but I was just checking if I was in stealth mode right now. So if I move to here, would I be able to still be hidden behind the rocks? I don't know how high they are or what, if they're just smaller.
Not really. I don't think you could stay hidden behind the rocks and move. I think if you want to stay there and huddle, you could stay hidden.
If I attack, though, then they are currently flat-footed from me. Yes?
Yes.
But they're probably going to get... I'll get a -2 because I'm 25 feet away, so I'm out of my first range increment. It's -2 for that, right?
-2 for the first range increment, yes.
All right. Well, then flat-footed and -2 is balances out to 0. So
Yep.
I guess I'll stay there and attack this guy right there.
Right there?
Yeah. I don't have this. That's why. Yeah, this guy. So splashes will hit the other two, but not Sora.
Yeah.
As long as I hit something. Okay. So Akar ducking down, he reaches into his little bag of tricks, kind of concocts a moderate alchemist fire and throws it at that guy, hoping to burn him to death.
Nice.
So
excellent.
There we go. So if it hits him, it's 9 damage plus the 2 splash to him, and then he has 2
people around him. Yep.
And then the people around him get 2 splashes. But I don't know. I don't think they get persistent. I think just he does.
Yeah, I think that is the way that it works. So let's do that looks sort of like a fire. Yeah, for persistent damage on him. All right.
That was that was one action.
That was one action.
Yes. So I have a second one. I'm gonna throw another bomb because I got a bunch of them, and I don't want to be attacked by that guy. So hopefully I can take him down. So second attack, -5, I guess, because it's not a. Anyways, okay. Yeah, that will not do it.
Nope. Not good enough.
Do you have to scatter?
It's just a miss in these rules. There's no potential to hit Sorab or anything like that.
I believe the splash still hits though.
Splash should have hit Sorab. Yes.
Okay.
No, not Sorab, because
on the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was only a plus sign instead of a full circle around it.
I think it's a full circle. So Sorab, take 2.
Sorry,
okay. No saves or anything, right? It's an
No
automatic
save.
2.
It's just an automatic
Yeah.
2 damage.
Oh,
But then the
perfect.
second one just completely misses. You hit like somewhere over here on the rocks, and none of the
Burn the
fire.
Burn the dead guy.
Burn the dead guy. Yes.
Was it a crit miss?
No.
If it's not a crit miss, then I should hit with splash damage
Oh.
with a bomb.
Oh. Okay. Well then, yes. 2 fire damage for everybody in the area.
No, just the guy.
Just the guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, and that's my turn.
All right. That is the end of Akar's turn. Sorab. 3 actions.
Okay, Sora raises his shield, and he's going to turn to the one that Akar just burned up, who looks more hurt than the one he was attacked last turn. And he looks him in the eyes and says, "Don't you understand you're fighting a god?" And he hacks down with his battle axe. So this is action number 2. Not good enough, right?
Not good enough.
Okay. So that even makes him more angry, and he have to blade back again, and with all his might. So let's be at a -5.
Be at a
Cool.
-4 because you have sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So 20.
A 20 is good enough to hit, so that
Cool.
kills the burning one.
And he turns to the other. That was my last action, but he turns to this and says, "Who's next?"
Excellent.
Yeah, I actually have a feat that says "Who's next?" It says "You're next," and I can
Oh, that's
intimidate people with a reaction. So hopefully,
Yeah,
I get
that's
to use
great.
it.
Cool.
All right, so
All right, Musa.
is stealth would be like 1 action, correct? And I
Yeah,
do that
1 action to duck down.
'cause that's how you. Yeah, because I need to. I'm trying to get my sneak attack, right? So that's
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so I was trying to stealth to duck down and hide. I don't know if that's-
That might be good enough. I'm gonna make it relatively easy because you're up there out of the way. Yes, good enough.
Okay, and if I get on this slope here, is that like I start sliding down, or is that fine before I start falling?
Right there is just fine.
Okay, and then I'm gonna throw a dagger at this guy after I creep. So I stealth, I creep, and then I'm gonna throw a dagger.
All right, throw a dagger.
All right. Ooh!
Nice.
Wow! Plus an extra D6 of damage for the
14,
sneak.
and then roll the d6.
Oh! Holy crap!
Awesome.
Excellent stuff. So,
Okay.
bandits, the one that you attacked, Musa, he is going to throw another javelin at you.
Okay.
Javelin.
Can you dodge? You can't dodge as a reaction, right?
No.
Okay.
Unless you have, there's a special rogue feat that allows you to gain +2 AC against an attack you can see.
That's nimble dodge. I
Nimble
had that.
dodge. Yes, nimble dodge. You have that.
So I'll use that as my reaction.
Okay. He misses, and then he's gonna throw. He's got a couple of javelins, so he's gonna throw another one. That definitely misses also. All right. So now we're on the ones around Sorab. So this one is going to step here and step here to flank you, Sorab. He's going to do an attack. That is a miss.
Cool.
The other one on the other side. What is your AC, Sorab?
It's with the shield up, it's 21.
With the shield up is 21. Just
Yeah.
good enough. So your shield just deflects the spear away.
Nice. Okay, great.
And then that's a miss. And then 2 more of them.
And they take persistent damage on Akar's turn or their turn.
Just the one that got hit with the bomb takes the persistent damage. That's right. Akar,
Oh, that's right. That's
Akar,
right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right. My bad. That guy's dead.
All right. 1 hit on you, Sorab,
Okay.
for 6 points of damage.
Okay, let me just see here. I'm going to raise my shield.
Yeah. Block with your shield.
Block my shield. Do a shield block. So I take 6. You said total.
6 total. Minus
So
your
minus
shield is 5
3 hardness.
3 hardness.
3.
3
Yeah.
hardness. Okay.
So So I take 3 and the shield takes 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's not letting me change the current XP in the shield. I will just track that separately. Actually, what is the blue line for us?
Blue bar is your shield HP.
It is. So it says it has 12. Interesting. On my sheet, it says... Oh, no. Sorry. Okay. It's all good. I got it. Whoops. I just put in the wrong number. Okay. Done.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Rashad, it is your turn again.
I'm gonna mark. I mark this guy,
All right. This one.
and I start firing.
All right. Take your shots.
No,
That is a
fish.
crit.
Nice.
So that's an instant kill
Oh,
on
awesome.
the first shot.
Wow.
How do you kill this one?
Through the throat.
Through the throat. Nice.
Nice. Man. These arrows just coming whizzing in, taking these guys
Nice.
out.
All right. Well, then I just killed my prey. So, well, that's one of 2 actions. I will then fire at this one back here, just regular. So this is -5. Yeah, what is that? No, 11.
No. Not enough. All right. Akar, your turn.
I'm gonna delay till after Sorab, but I'm gonna say Sorab, take a step back, because they know I'm there now, so I'm not in stealth anymore.
All right. Sorab.
Okay. So I will raise my shield. And you have to do that every turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So I raise my shield as my first action. My second action, I'm going to attack the first guy that I originally attacked. And by the way, I was just looking up sweep. You do get a +1, but only if you attack a different enemy.
Oh, okay. I don't think it would have
But
mattered.
that's just for it wouldn't have mattered. It still would have hit.
No.
But I'm just trying to learn the rules myself. So
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. So I will then attack this guy to the northwest of me with my battle axe. And I'm going to miss on purpose.
On purpose. So he is going to take a free hit against you.
Yep.
Ugh.
I'm just
No.
I'm just luring him in.
He's missing that Black Lotus.
Yep.
Okay, and then I will step. I guess I'll step straight back. I don't know how much of that going straight south is that difficult terrain or is that
I don't
regular
think
terrain?
straight south is difficult terrain.
Okay, cool. So I will then take a step back. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just do that. So that'd be my third action.
Excellent.
So I get out of the way. I know how damaging my companions are. So I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid.
Yeah. All right. Akar.
All right. Guess I'll move there. Here. One stride, and then I will take out another bomb and throw it at that guy so that the others around can get hit with some splash damage.
Yep.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That's nice damage on that guy.
That is just enough. How do you immolate this one?
All right, so I move up as I'm fiddling around, grabbing all the stuff, smush it together, and I throw it. And the guy is looking at me and looking at the thing, and he saw his friend get burned, and his mouth drops open, agape, and I hit him right in the mouth, and his whole face flares up and melts Indiana Jones style.
Nice.
Nice. Awesome.
And I go, oh, sorry.
Sorab just laughed.
And I have another action, but I'm going to... I have a shield? I have a shield, I think. I'm going to take out my shield. bomb
Cool.
because I don't want to waste all my bombs. So that's my turn.
Cool.
All right.
I don't raise it. I'm just taking it out of wherever I had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Musa.
Musa's going to slide down the slope here. Do I need to roll anything for that?
No.
And attack that guy with his mace. If I can find the mace. Oh, of course, I'm on the wrong tab. Mace.
Nice.
Excellent.
Okay. So for 5 points of damage, I guess, right?
5 points of damage. He is just barely still up. Your dagger got him really badly, and the mace got him pretty badly. But
All right. So I'm gonna. This mace is not versatile, so I guess I will punch him with my offhand. So that's only -4 instead.
-4 for the offhand.
So
Excellent.
22.
2 more damage with the punch.
I told you guys.
That's awesome.
Nice
Crunch.
job. So yeah, you beat this man to death.
I crunch it right in the jaw, and it just rips his jaw off.
Excellent.
It's a
Nice.
strong punch. It's as strong as a mace.
Yeah, stronger. Okay, and that was it for me.
That's it
I
for
moved.
you?
and-
All right, bandit infantry. They're gonna take their persistent. Oh, they don't take persistent damage. Just the one you targeted with the bomb takes persistent.
Right.
Yes.
Did you give those two splash damage though?
I did do 2 splash damage, but no persistent.
Yeah, no
That's
persistent,
right. Okay, so this one right here, he's kind of foolish and he doesn't realize what's about to happen. He's gonna try to rush towards Akar. Sorab, why don't you make me an attack of opportunity?
All right. Here we go. 27.
Is not enough for crits. That's
Okay.
6
I'll
damage.
take that.
And he rushes forward towards Akar. And then he is going to make an attack against Akar. Akar, what's your AC?
18.
Oop, that's a miss.
Akar's
Just
like
barely.
flinches back and I guess he bounces off the shield even though he didn't raise it.
Yep, and another miss. All right, this last one, he's gonna come in. He's gonna try to go toe to toe with Sorab. First attack, nope. Second attack, definitely not. All right, Rashad, it is your turn.
All right. I marked that guy.
Yep.
So is this another guy out here, Arlen?
No, that's just my token for turn order.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, someone's watching us.
5 plus 8.
Excellent. How do you kill this one?
Nice.
I send it between Sorab's shield and axe right into his chest.
Excellent.
And then I'm not going to use package on that. And then I guess my last shot is on this guy. This is my 5.
Pretty good.
Some good rolls.
That is
5
just barely enough because it's -5
5 points?
and then
Yeah.
-2 for volley within range, right?
Yes.
Yes. So yes,
18.
18 is his AC, so that's 5 damage.
Nice.
All
Get
right,
him, Sorab.
Sorab.
All right. I will step. But I'm not like carefully stepping. I'm like lunging at this guy.
Mhm.
Here we go. Battle axe comes swinging down. 30.
Yep. How do you kill him?
So he screams as he rushes at him and gets the guy's attention. So just as he turns at me, he exposes his neck and he just cleaves the battle axe straight through his clavicle, basically. And the guy's head kind of like falls over to the side. And then he drops on the ground.
Akar takes his hands and wipes the blood off his face and says, "Thanks." Thanks.
Sorry about the blood. That's like the nicest he's been so far. He has one action left and he's gonna seek to see if there's any other bandits hidden around here.
This one here.
Ooh. Gonna see if there's any other ones. Why don't you roll me 1d3?
All right.
And there
Great.
aren't any.
Okay. Nice. You got me.
Yep. Okay. But that is all. So in the aftermath, each of you, I assume, kind of breathing heavily, adrenaline pumping from the brief burst of combat with the bandits. What are you thinking? What are you gonna do?
I need
see if
to.
they got anything.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him do that. I'll let Musa do that. I'm definitely gonna sit down and heal myself, or attempt to.
All right. That
I'm
would
gonna
be.
go through the bodies, or this one at least, and then make my way.
I move up to Sorab and seeing that he's bleeding and said, "Do you want any help with that?"
He kind of looks up and he's like he's considering it, and he nods.
So, you want
I
me to
forget
do
how
a
aid
medicine
works.
check? Aid is
Oh.
like it says in the book, like DC 20 or whatever the GM thinks.
Right, and
to
then
get
you
a +1.
get a +1. Okay, so
And a
I
crit.
my
No, sorry.
are you trained in? You're trained, obviously. In
I'm
medicine.
trained.
I have a +6 total. You're probably better than
Same.
I am.
Same.
Okay. If you want to try to aid me, I can try to do so. That way, if I accidentally hurt myself by critically failing, I won't have to blame you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully I don't critically fail. Well, I don't think I can, but well, I could. But hopefully I don't.
Well, let's see what happens.
I'll aid.
Is there doing it?
I aid for a +1.
+1.
Fantastic. All right, so here we go. It's a +1 to this roll.
Oh.
Okay.
So that's not quite a critical
Not?
failure. Remember that you have hero points for these sorts of
I
situations.
know. I'm going to use one right now. So here we go with a +1. Okay.
Excellent. So 2d8 hit points.
Yes.
Then Rashad, you
Thanks.
were asking?
I was like shake my head at the failure and then actually try to do it myself. But he wiped his eyes and go, "Oh, the blood's in my eyes still." So then he steps over the body and just starts investigating the bodies for any identifying marks or.
Would you get rewarded for like showing proof that we killed these bandits? Like cut their heads off and take them to the guy.
He sort of wants to do that anyway.
You could probably take some heads or some scalps back to the main caravan and say, hey, we think we get a bonus for killing some bandits.
Yeah, that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's like 7.
Yeah.
So, Musa, why don't you roll me 4d6, and Rashad, you roll me 3d6.
Come on, roll.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it didn't.
Hey, there it is.
A 30-20.
Oh,
No, that's exotic.
pretty impressive.
Excellent. So, Musa, you find 14 silver pieces amongst the bodies that you search, and Rashad, you find another 10 silver.
Okay.
So, a little bit of cash. And then, yeah, if you want to spend a few minutes gathering some heads, you could gather up the heads, tie the hair onto a spear or something and carry it along to...
Any worthwhile weapons? I
Not,
only have a dagger.
they probably have a dagger or two if you want to fill up your stash. Basically, I think Musa threw one dagger, so you can
Yeah.
get your dagger back.
Mhm.
But not really. I mean, these guys are carrying.
Javelin. I might
Uh,
take javelins.
yeah, you can take some
Better,
javelins.
right, the little
Oh
better
yeah, I'd
range.
like some ranged stuff because I don't
Yeah.
have any ranged weapons.
And what about the arrow recovery? Is there a rule for that?
I do not know if there's a rule for that.
Interesting.
It used to be like odd or even. Like
Yeah, it used to be 50-50%.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine, Rashad. If you want, I don't remember how many arrows that you shot.
One,
And
two.
it's a little to be fair,
Mhm.
it's not very sword and sorcery to count ammunition or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
know.
So
That is true. That is very true.
I'm totally fine with you saying you have enough arrows to shoot until you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. He is looking for any like identifying marks or like anything that would, or or if they're just random sand.
Yeah,
Bandits.
there's I mean, some of them have like some of them seem to be escaped slaves or something, so they've got kind of markings that look like brandings on them, but there's no like, hey, we're the bandits of this group marking
Right, they're
on
not-
them.
they're not like a particular tribe. They're just like a motley crew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just happen to all look alike because I only have one token.
Right.
Okay.
The deadly septuplets.
Exactly.
The dead septuplets.
Right.
Okay. Well, we collected. I agree with Sorrel. Let's take their heads. Scalps, that could be cheating. So
No, I want to take their head so the look of fear that's frozen on their face is seen by our.
have you told us you worship the spider god?
Oh yeah, I don't make a secret of it at all.
It's too bad. It's too bad there were not 8.
Yes, it's true, but yachts come off those things for a reason. So there must be someone else we must kill. I think I know who it is. That's all he said.
When he sees Sora like taking the heads, he's barbarian and just kind of like walks away.
And
But
Sora,
I don't know
can
if
just-
I don't even know if he understands the word because I don't think he speaks Zajit.
no, he doesn't. So he, even if he did, though, he would say thank you.
Yeah, Akar definitely avoids them when they're cutting off the heads. He's not a particularly big fan of lots of blood and gore.
And as he's doing it, he's
He likes
whispering-
fire.
That's true. He does like fire. He likes to melt people's faces off.
I apologize.
That's you did. That's a good point. He is saying a prayer to Yacht Kamath as he's with each head he cuts off, as if it's like in honor of Yacht Kamath. He's cutting the head off of this enemy.
Excellent.
Mhm. Cool.
And I guess we'll head
Stuff.
back to the caravan.
Yeah. So you guys were perhaps 3 or 4 hours away from the caravan, a couple of minutes of fighting, another 3 or 4 hours back to rejoin with the main group. But it's as you come over a hill, you see. Give me just a second to get your tokens. You see the caravan, and something looks terribly strange about it. The wagons are circled up around each other, and as you get closer, you can see that there are bodies lying on the ground. Most of the mercenaries lying with arrows poking out of their armor, blood scorched all over the sands. There's dead horses and dead bandits all around. It's clear that something has gone horribly wrong.
I
guess-
told you Yacht Kamath would dispose of our slave lords.
That merchant lied. He said a troop of his best mercenaries. I laugh.
I
Well,
will
you guys
see.
laugh. I'm concerned that we do not have the supplies that we need to make it through the desert.
Do we think today's can we tell if the ox carts look looted? Are they completely barren of goods?
They've been ransacked certainly, so there's not a lot of stuff around. Or
So Sora wants to
running
just seek and to make sure there's no one around here. But once if he doesn't see anybody, then he's going to try to pick through and look for supplies with the rest.
Yeah.
Or
Look
Rashad
for
kind of not
water.
thinking.
Yeah.
Could actually just walk straight into the camp, looking around. You're not.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely
Yeah.
looking for water, especially.
Right.
Okay, so let's resolve this from top down. So Sorab, you look around the outside of the thing.
Yeah.
Yep. No clear sign of any remaining enemies. They were definitely here, but you can't tell, and you don't see a plume of dust on the horizon or anything like that.
Okay.
So you don't think that they are around. They probably are done with this site at this point. It's been
Got
pretty
it.
much picked over.
Cool.
Musa, what were you?
I was going to this first area and looking for provisions and water, especially. I don't know if people are alive, if I happen to hear them, but I'm looking more for my own, well-being and the well-being of my blood companions. So water and provisions.
Yeah, so you and Akar, that's about what you were doing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys go searching and you're able to find there's perhaps a barrel or two that have been stabbed, but stabbed relatively high, so the water that bled out, there's still enough at the bottom that you can refill water skins and have at least some provisions for the trip. And then
Right.
Rashad, you were going in and looking for signs of the living.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go through,
Yeah, you're the good guy.
and the chaos is worse and worse as you get towards the center. It's clear that the mercenaries made a sort of last stand, and I'm picturing kind of stepping over the bodies, and then out from under one of them, there's this sort of gasping cry, and you see rising up almost as if like a zombie or a revenant or something, just covered in blood. It's the colossally fat merchant.
Holy crap.
What do you do?
How close am I to him?
You're like 10 feet away.
He's that. So he's a zombie?
No, he's just covered in blood from all of his men dying around him, on top of him.
I'm gonna say I've never seen anything like this, so I start swearing profusely, and he kind of takes 5 feet back and then literally just falls in the sand 10, 20 feet from him.
Nice.
All right. And then I think that's probably at about the point that Sorab and Musa and Akar notice this figure. He's, his fine clothing is completely ripped apart. It's in tatters on him. And it's clear that he is pretty badly wounded in addition to the blood and gore that comes from his men.
Yeah, I was swearing loud. I mean, it wasn't,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we can try to patch him up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was going to move up and try to help him.
Who wants to stop Sorab from cutting his head off?
I was figuring that's what was going to happen, but I was going to go about what I was going to do, try to kill him before the battle axe landed.
I think that you guys at this point know that you probably could stop him. He's not crazed at this point, so he's just that this is his first instinct, just to go kill this guy.
So Sorab, he is our ticket. He's our meal ticket. Let's not be hasty.
Yeah, I raised my hand to Sorab while he's back there. Said, "Wait. Let's see what we can do with him. There's no need to kill him."
It makes some sense. We could be traded for gold.
His weight in gold.
Very well.
He should be thrown into the ever-living flame.
I will keep an eye on him. So Sora's going to keep an eye on the surrounding area while they go about trying to help him out.
I think we all have Can we use battle medicine or just any medicine?
Just regular medicine, DC 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a +5. I don't know what people have.
I got a 6.
I got +7, but I don't really like.
Wow.
So how many people? How many people can aid?
You can have one aid because it's a circumstance bonus, and it's just the highest circumstance bonus counts.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
can have one person roll at DC 20 to aid, or you can just, it's only going to be a DC 15 check to get him enough hit points to be able to kind of stumble on.
So Rashad, do you want to do it then, or?
Yeah, he kind of gets his wits about him and goes up and kind of wiping the blood off him. And he's
I will try to assist. I'll try to aid because, I want to help. That's what I do. So I'll try to aid first and then, nope. I do not. There's too much blood.
you
Right.
gotta purify the flame a little bit.
It's just all blood.
Cauterize some wounds.
yeah. So he gets out his kit. He actually is the flame on in the fire.
The flame? No.
No. Said I'm probably going to need a fire to cauterize these wounds.
Yeah,
And,
you can definitely start a fire.
Yeah, he starts cleaning them off, and well, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, you are able to sort of bandage him up a bit, cauterize a wound or two. He is not really speaking at all. He's basically just sitting there, kind of completely shaken, basically completely out of it. Sorab, would you roll me perception?
Okay. Here we go. 14.
So you see, it's really hard to tell. There's this sort of, heat haze out there on the desert, but you think there might be 2 or 3 or even 4 of these sort of dust plumes out there, like there's somebody riding horses or marching.
Companions, there are others approaching. They dare to come near us. Ready your weapons.
Or look for shelter around or hiding places around.
Is there anywhere to hide?
Not really. You're basically out in the open. That's why they attacked here. But how about everybody roll me perception now?
And Arlen, do I have a sense of approximately how far of a distance it is to these plumes?
It's
Like, is it miles away or it's
really hard to say out here.
Okay. Got it.
Is the
Cool.
thing.
Yep.
Rashad, you can see it's not just 1 or 2 or even 4 plumes. It's dust clouds everywhere out across one entire section of the horizon. And I think as soon as you say this, it's Akar who has desert lore, right? Or is it
No.
Rashad?
I don't have desert lore.
Somebody has desert lore.
I have legal.
I have legal.
I got Zother.
Okay,
and
well,
Dragon.
here, tell you what. How about Rashad,
I think I know what it is.
you roll me survival to see if you recognize what this is.
Yeah, as a ranger, wouldn't I?
Yeah, that would be
Look at the bottom of your.
Oh, nice.
excellent. So, yeah, Rashad, you know immediately. This is not armies on the march. This is not bandits. This is a massive dust storm that is coming.
Yeah, so he's kind of like looking at the horizon, and he's looking more and more, and then again he starts cursing, and he goes, "Storm, storm, find cover."
Well, we have these carts.
Yeah.
Can we I don't know.
I think
dig in the carts and then hide in the cart, or to get blown away.
Are they made of wood, or is it cloth on top? Because if it's cloth, it's not going to hold.
Yeah. Is this wood or?
Cloth on top, but a wood bottom. So if you wanted to get
Turn it
under
over,
the cart or turn it over or something.
Yeah, we
need to
can
get one of
we
these
can get a
carts
couple.
over.
We get a couple of them over. probably one whole one for the merchant.
Yeah, right. And there's no caves, like there's no other rock formations around this area where we are.
Not really. Back where you were scouting out was a lot rockier, which is part of why you were out there, because that's, where somebody could hide.
Cool. Then I'm gonna start overturning these carts.
Yeah.
Any way to use crafting to make something to kind of buckle them down together?
I don't think so. Not
Yeah,
really.
It's a reach.
No,
It's gonna be
I don't think it's going to be. I think you have enough time ahead of time that you guys have seen this with enough time that you'll be able to overturn at least one and probably two of these carts and create yourselves a sort of
Little
blockade.
Shelter. Okay.
cool.
Yeah, and dig in and even put it over us, right? So
Yeah.
and have
Yeah.
like a
Grab the water and
grab all the water.
Yeah.
Are these beds on the ground or like
Dead bodies.
bags?
So this is just an image I found. I've been picturing no beds on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they weren't camped, right? This is the day.
Yeah, this was just, they basically just circled up the wagons as soon as things got, attacking.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So are we only going to be able to flip two of them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you're going to be able to flip two of them. That's going to be essentially barely enough to cover everybody, but everybody who is alive is going to be able to get down under.
I'm going to cut the cloth off of the third one and cut patches for each one of us and soak it with water. With just a little bit of water, not soak it, but save our water, but a little bit so that we can breathe through that and have barriers around our face.
That's smart.
Get the grid out.
Good idea.
Excellent.
So I cut out 5 or whatever. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that leaves you essentially having overturned the wagons, the storm getting closer and closer and closer, wrapping up around your face to protect yourself from the storm, and then it arrives, and it is this horrific, tremendous howling noise, and you can perhaps even see it's so deadly that it can rip the flesh off of the dead bodies. It's just tearing through them, this kind of horrific sandstorm. And I'll have everybody roll me perception one last time.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yep.
That's good.
So Sorab and Akar, both of you notice the merchant. He seems to have mostly calmed down. He's still, clearly in pretty serious trouble and could probably use some more serious medical attention than you guys are able to give him. But both of you notice on his hand a ring with a massive red gemstone on it. And this gemstone is in the shape of a snake eye, and you cannot help but have sort of prickling feeling on the back of your neck that there is something menacing about this. And that is where we'll leave our heroes, huddled up under the wagons in the midst of a sandstorm.
Nice.
Staring at the eye.
Staring
So
at
we
the snake eye.
we saw that just as the sandstorm was coming in.
Just as the sandstorm was coming in.
Cool.
Would occultism give some more information about that, or no?
Let's
Next time?
Let's start with that next time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you describe it again? A ring with a red
A ring with a
gem
massive red gem carved to look like a snake eye.
Cool. Awesome.
The eye of the serpent.
Yep.
Great serpent.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys.
That's
playing.
Yeah, thanks for
you.
running. Thanks for putting that all together and making all the characters and doing all that stuff. This is really fun.
Yeah.
It definitely evoked the feel of Sword Sorcery,
Sorcery.
Conan, etc.
I like the opening. We're like all in a dungeon.
Yeah, I feel like that's everybody's in the dungeon. Everybody is. I was trying to feel, because I really wish if there was an easier way. You guys are because of the way that Pathfinder is built, it's not quite as item agnostic as some of the other kind of sword and sorcery specific games. Like, you guys are, those of you with high strengths can do unarmed combat pretty well, and can, assume you other guys can attack with daggers pretty well. But it's not like, one of the things that I really like about Conan 2D20 is that you can basically just say, okay, you're in your loincloth with nothing, and whatever you scrounge up to find is what you're going to be able to fight with.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this doesn't work quite as well for that. So the original idea was, I was desperately trying to figure out a way that you could have an actual jailbreak to end up in the desert, but I couldn't figure out a way to give you guys a reasonable challenge without making the enemies basically way too inconsistent with what the world is supposed to be like.
Yeah, I mean, I do. The thing I like about Conan, and it's just a different kind of game, is it is super narrative. So it's intended to give that feel of doing a short story where you kind of hand wave a bit to make that all work.
Well, and yeah, they're definitely different games, and Pathfinder, I mean, it's built for like characters that accumulate magic items over the course of their travels and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
but I think it seems like it worked out all right.
The stuff that we have, we can really like say, oh, well, this merchant has this powerful ring. It's no wonder he gave us nice weapons and items to use, right?
Yep.
What about,
and
he didn't give me a good weapon. I got a measly dagger.
That's true.
Yeah,
but I thought
you're throwing alchemist's fire.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Trade-off.
effective.
He has like enough materials to make you blow things up, help you blow things up.
Well, and I also just thought that everybody felt like a very different character, even though we all have some thieving, some rogue in us. So that was fun. Everybody fought in a different way.
It's cool, yeah.
So it was cool. I thought it was fun. I love Conan too, but I thought this worked.
Yeah, no, I felt like as an experiment, there's some other stuff. I think if I was going to do it, or assuming that we keep playing this, there's some tinkering I'm going to do with the things to get it to be even more sword and sorcery. But yeah. All right, well, let me end the recording, and we can